Hello, this is a tutorial video for calculating stat holiday pay in Employee Tracker. This function allows you to calculate the stat holiday entitlement for hourly employees in preparation for payroll. If you are just starting with Employee Tracker, you'll want to make sure you have enough historical records in the system. This is to ensure the calculation will be accurate. You'll also want to make sure that your hourly employees are correctly set up in their employee profiles. Otherwise, they may be rejected from the calculation. Let's start with this. Click on the Employees shortcut, find an hourly employee, and go to the Defaults page. First, we need to make sure that eligible for holiday pay is set to yes. For the stat holiday eligible date, we need to make sure that this is before the holiday that you'll be calculating for, or you can set this to be the employee hire date. For the stat holiday rule, you'll want to select the rule that applies for the employee. Most companies would only have one or two rules here for their provincial standard. For today's example, I'll select Ontario. Next, we need to set a range for the minimum pay hours and the maximum pay hours. In general, the minimum pay hours would be 0, and you'll want to make sure that the maximum pay hours is high enough to pay the employee a full day of stat holiday, if they're eligible. The stat holiday calculation will calculate between 0 and 9 hours for this employee based on their time history. In general, you'll always want to have bank stat pay never. When you're ready to calculate the holiday pay, go to the Operations menu and click Holiday Pay Run. Next, check the Create New Holiday Records file. Select the holiday from the drop-down menu. Double-check your employee list. You can add or remove employees with the Employee Selection tool. When everything's ready, click OK. This is the message you'll receive if anyone was rejected from the stat holiday pay calculation. To view the rejections, click Yes. As you can see, one employee is not set up to receive holiday pay. If we wanted him to receive holiday pay, we should return to the employee profile, set him up correctly, and start the holiday pay run again. For this example, we'll ignore this and continue without him. Click the X, click Yes, click OK. To view the results of the calculation, check the Preview Holiday Audit List and click OK. Make the screen big. This generates a report of the stat holiday calculation. The total stat time calculated is in the time column. The rate is in the rate column. The number of days attended in the calculation period is in the days attended column, and the total hours worked in the calculation period is in the worked column. In this example for the Ontario stat rule, the formula is total hours worked divided by 20. If you are double checking these calculations, be careful to note that our totals are in hours and minutes on 60, not in decimal places. If anything seems incorrect, you'll want to review your stat holiday rule and your settings in the employee profile. You may also need to visit the employee's time card history to ensure that it is correct. If everything looks good, you can email the report to yourself here with the PDF button, or click Exit and print the report for yourself. In some rare cases, you may want to edit the holiday records. Do this by checking the Edit Holiday Records box and clicking OK. This will give you the opportunity to change any of the calculated times. For example, if you wanted to add or remove some time for an employee, you could do that here. Although you should be careful with this not to underpay any employees. For anyone that was rejected from the calculation, you can also add them to this list manually. Click the Add button, select the employee, and enter the number of hours to be paid. This would be a workaround in the event that the calculation didn't happen for this employee in the first place. But the best practice would be to return to his profile and correctly set them up. If everything here looks good, click Exit. The Edit Holiday Records step is optional. If the results look good, the final step is to click Post Holiday Records and click OK. This will create holiday records in the employee time card. Click OK, click Exit, and let's go look at one of those time cards. I'll make the screen big. You may need to toggle the holiday check in the top right to include the holiday. Holiday records normally appear in blue, so you can see it here, Canada Day, 7.5 hours. When it's time to do the payroll, this record will be included. While we're here, I should point out that this employee also worked on July 2nd, the stat holiday date for Canada Day. You'll notice that his time is calculated at time and a half, according to the time calculation rule. This is normal. You have successfully calculated and posted the stat holiday records for the hourly employees. One final note before we go. In order to calculate the holiday must exist, and this is maintained in the Setup menu under Holidays. We normally preload the current year of stat holidays for your company based on your province. For future years, you will need to add to this list in order to calculate the stat holiday. The best way to do this is to select an existing holiday, click the Copy button, and change the date. When ready, click Save. You can find a list of your provincial holidays and dates online. Finally, if you're curious about the stat holiday calculation, you can find this for your company under the Setup menu, Holiday Pay Rules. Double-click on the rule, and you'll find all the settings there. Thank you for watching.